going to be happy. And yeah, that's what they did tonight. Yeah, I think just in sport. Yeah, I didn't see that. I would guess so. I mean, AT's a competitive player. Just like their players talk to their fans, our players are going to do the same. Yeah, I
He's right. He's right. And he's talking, obviously, Alyssa Thomas talking to the fans. Like,
Phoenix Mercury head coach Nate Tibbetts has defended Indiana Fever supporters following their negative reception of former player DeWanna Bonner during recent game action. Tibbetts, regarded as one of the league's more accomplished coaching figures alongside other respected leaders, addressed the situation with measured perspective regarding fan behavior and professional sports dynamics. Tibbetts brings significant experience from NBA coaching positions, requiring substantial financial investment from the Mercury organization to secure his services. His tenure with Phoenix has demonstrated effective leadership and strategic development, establishing him among the top coaching personnel in women's professional basketball. His background provides valuable context for understanding competitive sports culture and fan expectations. During media discussions about the Bonner situation and fan reactions, Tibbetts emphasized the natural expectations surrounding professional athletics.
you can tell as more like he's probably used to burying his real feelings and pretty much everything he comes dealing with. Like, I don't. Like, let's be real, he's not going to call out his own team. He's not going to call out his own team, but, like, it's just a common sense argument. Like, this is sports. This is sports. Like, it's one of those things where, like, he's come from the NBA. I'm sorry. Like, if DeWanna Bonner pulled what she did in the NBA, and people are like, oh, loads of players have quit on teams in the NBA. Yeah.
He acknowledged that athletes must anticipate certain responses when visiting former team locations, particularly when departures occur under contentious circumstances. The coach noted that Bonner handled the situation appropriately despite the challenging environment. Tibbetts explained that hostile receptions represent standard elements of competitive sports, especially when players leave organizations under unfavorable conditions. He recognized that fans express disappointment when departures don't align with their preferences or expectations. The coach's comments reflected understanding of both player and fan perspectives during these situations. The coach also addressed reports of opposing players engaging with spectators during games, suggesting such interactions represent natural competitive responses.
The NBA, yeah. But how many players sign a max contract? So basically, you sign a max contract so that you can't sign any other big free agents. Then after 5 games, just say, I quit. Or 7 games or whatever it was. Quit on the team after 7 games. And then say you're out for personal reasons. Keep collecting that check. And then the team's looking to trade you. And the team has trade offers, and you just keep saying.
He indicated that when visiting team members communicate with fans, home team players might respond similarly, creating dynamic interactions throughout contests. Tibbetts' measured response demonstrates his experience managing complex situations involving player movements and fan reactions. His NBA background provides perspective on how similar scenarios unfold in men's professional basketball, where player departures often generate intense emotional responses from supporters. The Bonner situation represents a particularly complex case study in professional sports player movement. Bonner signed a maximum contract with Indiana before requesting departure after minimal games played, citing personal reasons while continuing to collect compensation. The circumstances created significant complications for the franchise's roster planning and competitive positioning.
Trade offers, and you just keep saying no. Your agent is like, she's only going here. So you lose all leverage. And then she goes for nothing. And then that player goes for nothing. If that happened in the NBA, there would literally be jersey burning parties. People would, like, imagine if, I don't know, let's just say, I'm trying to give a player of DeWanna Bonner's level. I know she's a bit on the older side. DeWanna Bonner was an all-star last year. Not KD. Is there any, because
The player's departure strategy involved limiting potential trade destinations, reducing the organization's negotiating leverage, and ultimately forcing a transaction that provided minimal return value. This approach contrasts sharply with typical professional sports player movement protocols, where departing athletes generally cooperate with organizational efforts to secure reasonable compensation. Comparative analysis with NBA player movements reveals the unusual nature of Bonner's departure. While professional athletes occasionally request trades or refuse contract extensions, the specific circumstances surrounding Bonner's situation created unique complications for the Indiana organization. The combination of maximum contract status, early departure timing, and limited trade cooperation generated exceptional challenges. Historical precedent suggests that similar situations in major professional sports typically generate significant fan backlash.
So, heck, let's just say Jimmy Butler. Let's just say Jimmy Butler, in free agency, he decided to play out his contract with the Warriors, and then he just randomly decided, I'm going to join, what team's I'm going to join the Spurs. And the Spurs are like, oh my God, we've got Wemby, we've got De'Aaron Fox, we've got all these, now we've got Jimmy Butler. Now you got Jimmy Butler, like, I know Jimmy's old, but like he could be like the thing that pushes over the edge. And then Jimmy Butler goes through training camp, talks about, we want to win a title.
When star players sign substantial contracts before quickly departing under controversial circumstances, supporter reactions often include organized protests and public demonstrations of displeasure. The Indiana fan response appears relatively moderate compared to potential NBA equivalents. The situation highlights differences between player-organization relationships and fan expectations across different professional sports leagues. Indiana supporters have previously demonstrated appreciation for departing players who maintained positive relationships and professional conduct throughout their tenures. Examples include former players who received positive receptions during return visits despite leaving the organization.
Talks about, we want to win a title, I can't wait to win a title here. And then plays a couple of games, is kind of struggling. And then in November, just stops showing up to work. And then ends up refusing trade so the team can't get an asset back. So the team has to give you up for nothing. Like, imagine if that happened. Like, it's different with Jimmy in Miami. He was there for half a decade. And was one of the greatest Heat players of all time. No matter how he left,
fan behavior analysis reveals distinctions between reactions to different types of player departures. Supporters typically distinguish between players who leave for competitive opportunities versus those who depart under controversial circumstances. The reception varies significantly based on departure timing, communication methods, and cooperation with organizational processes. Tibbetts' perspective reflects broader understanding of professional sports culture and fan psychology. His comments suggest recognition that supporter reactions represent natural emotional responses to perceived betrayals or unprofessional conduct.
All time. No matter how he left, he's still one of the greatest Heat players of all time. Even Simmons was there for half a decade. So it's a bit different then. Like, if, for example, Kelsey Mitchell quit on the team for whatever reason, like, I think she would be booed, but a lot less than this. Because she at least has a little bit of, like, the fans like her. Like, Erica Wheeler left the team. Fans love Erica Wheeler. Erica Wheeler loves the Indiana fans. Fans love Temi. Like, Temi got a standing ovation when she came back to Indiana.
The coach's NBA experience provides context for evaluating fan behavior within normal competitive sports parameters. The Mercury organization's performance following Bonner's arrival has produced mixed results, raising questions about the acquisition's impact on team success. Statistical analysis suggests the players' contributions have not dramatically improved organizational competitive positioning compared to pre-acquisition performance levels. League-wide implications of this situation extend beyond individual player movement to broader questions about contract negotiations, professional conduct standards, and fan engagement expectations. The WNBA continues developing institutional approaches to managing complex player-organization relationships while maintaining competitive integrity.
She came back to Indiana for off the back of one season. Like, the Indiana fans, it's nothing about players leaving. It's absolutely nothing about players leaving. It's nothing about players wanting to leave. Like, there's every chance in the world that the Indiana people wanted to keep Erica Wheeler. There's every chance in the world. Like, I don't think Christy Sides, if she showed up to watch a game, is going to get booed, regardless of how shit a coach that she was. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, sport is sport. What DeWanna Bonner did is like worse than Kevin Durant.
Professional sports commentary surrounding this situation reveals varying perspectives on appropriate fan behavior and player departure protocols. Traditional sports culture suggests that supporter reactions fall within acceptable parameters when responding to perceived unprofessional conduct or controversial departures. The evolving nature of WNBA fandom includes increasing numbers of passionate supporters who bring intense emotional investment typically associated with established professional sports leagues. This development creates new dynamics for players, organizations, and league officials managing competitive and commercial relationships. Cultural differences in sports fandom contribute to varying perspectives on appropriate supporter behavior and player-fan interactions. International sports traditions often emphasize intense tribal loyalty, contrasting with more casual fan approaches common in emerging professional leagues. Educational opportunities exist for all stakeholders to better understand evolving professional sports dynamics, including appropriate fan conduct, player movement protocols, and organizational management strategies. These developments reflect the league's continued growth and increasing competitive intensity. The Indiana Fever secured a decisive victory against the Phoenix Mercury in what many consider their most impressive performance of the current campaign. The triumph marked a significant achievement for the organization, demonstrating their capability to compete against elite competition. The outcome surprised many observers who anticipated a different result. However, the Fever have consistently demonstrated their ability to challenge superior opponents throughout the season. Previous victories include defeats of the top-seeded New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx during Commissioner's Cup play, establishing a pattern of competitive performances against highly ranked teams. This particular victory against the third-seeded Mercury proved especially remarkable given the absence of key personnel. Caitlin Clark remained unavailable due to injury, while Kelsey Mitchell faced significant foul trouble and appeared to be managing physical discomfort. Mitchell's limited effectiveness throughout the contest required other players to assume greater responsibilities. The victory exemplified collective effort rather than individual dominance. Aria McDonald delivered a career-best 27-point performance, narrowly missing a 30-point milestone. She also contributed 4 assists, though her 4 turnovers indicated areas for improvement. McDonald's effectiveness as a shooting guard exceeded her point guard performances, though she demonstrated improved playmaking abilities with several precise passes. The opening quarter failed to reflect the eventual competitive nature of the contest. Both teams struggled offensively, creating a slow-paced affair that contrasted sharply with later developments. The Fever eventually established their preferred tempo, utilizing their roster depth to create better spacing and offensive opportunities. Damaris Dantas provided significant impact during limited minutes, scoring 12 points in just 10 minutes of action. Her smooth fadeaway shooting technique drew comparisons to established stars like Nafisa Collier, showcasing the technical skill that makes her valuable to the rotation. Multiple players contributed meaningful performances that collectively secured the victory. Lexi Hull's defensive presence proved crucial during the second quarter when the team began their comeback effort. The Fever trailed by double digits after the first quarter before Hull's energy sparked a turnaround. Chloe Bibby fulfilled her expected role immediately upon entering the game, attempting a pull-up three-pointer and later connecting on a spot-up attempt. Her 10-point contribution and defensive activity, including a steal, validated the organization's decision to acquire her services. Aaliyah Boston dominated the fourth quarter, finishing with 22 points and 12 rebounds for another double-double performance. Her physical presence posed challenges for Phoenix defenders throughout the game, particularly against the aggressive style of Alyssa Thomas. Nalissa Smith provided defensive stability with 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. While her scoring remained modest, her comprehensive statistical contribution demonstrated her value across multiple areas. Smith has anchored the defensive effort consistently despite occasional off performances, maintaining high field goal efficiency. Mitchell struggled significantly, managing only 8 points on 3 of 10 shooting while dealing with foul trouble. Her difficulties required teammates to assume additional scoring responsibilities, which they handled effectively. The officiating favored Indiana throughout the contest, with several players receiving favorable whistles that typically elude them. Boston particularly benefited from increased free throw opportunities, reaching the line frequently against Phoenix's physical defensive approach. Sideline interactions added intrigue to the competitive atmosphere. Thomas expressed frustration with officiating decisions, while Clark encouraged the home crowd from the bench.
Or, she went down a few times in the last game. She might be a little sore. but she was also in foul trouble. But this was a big team win. Aari McDonald put down a career high of 27 points. I was really hoping she'd get that 30 piece, but she was 3 points shy. She also had 4 assists. Now, she did also have 4 turnovers, but I gotta say, I like Aari as a shooting guard better than I do as a point guard. But she did have this real nice, bullet assist.
McDonald bounces inside. It's a cutting Howard with the reverse.
And okay, so if you haven't watched the game, just don't pay attention to the first quarter, because the first quarter was real boring and it did not signify what the game ended up looking like. The Fever finally played a fast-paced game. They have Bibby on the team, which honestly makes a big difference in spacing out the floor. Damiris Dantas, they have Bibby on the team, which honestly makes a big difference in spacing out the floor. Damiris Dantas also doing a similar thing, but Damiris Dantas, oh my gosh, she was in 10 minutes and she put down 12 points. And she has the most butter fadeaway. Definitely compares to Nafisa Collier.
Dantas pushed way outside. Dantas battling, spins, fades, fires, and hits.
It's crazy though, because when I think about this game and I think about who I want to give a shout out to, I keep thinking of more people to give a shout out to, because this was a big team win. Like everybody contributed. Lexi contributed, especially defensively. Like when she came in, the lead started shrinking because again, the first quarter was ugly. The Fever were down by at least 10 points. Lexi came in the second quarter. Everything kind of started shifting. Spark plug after spark plug. Aari is a spark plug. Lexi was a spark plug. Chloe Bibby went in and she did what they brought her to do. She immediately took a pull-up 3, and later on she spot up, sunk a 3. She ended up coming away with 10 points for the night. She was also impactful defensively, coming away with a steal. AB was just great, especially in that fourth quarter. She went to work. She came away, of course, with a double-double, over a 20 piece with 22 points and 12 rebounds. And she was not making it easy on AT. She was not making it easy on AT. I was so nervous that AB would be in foul trouble with Alyssa Thomas, because Alyssa Thomas, she's a very physical player. But AB had an answer. Natasha Howard, she was also very good defensively. She didn't put down the most points. She came away with 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. So she stuffed the stat sheet. And again, defensively, very impactful. Now, she had a pretty, her last game wasn't a great game. She had mentioned she was having issues with her body, but she has been anchoring this defense, and her field goal percentage is actually very, very high. And everyone is entitled to their off games, which brings me to Kelsey Mitchell, who did come away with, 8 points. She shot 3 for 10, and I just have to say, it was not Kelsey Mitchell's night. She was in foul trouble, but this team, everybody else stepped it up. And honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen as many fouls called for the Fever as I have in this game. And AB, doesn't have a great whistle. She got to the free throw line so many times. Alyssa Thomas was just constantly complaining. And at the same time, Caitlin Clark is pretty much hyping up the crowd. And then a little bit later, you see DeWanna Bonner complaining to the refs. The irony that DeWanna Bonner was complaining to the refs after leaving a team that was never getting a call is not lost on me. This was a very gratifying win for a lot of people that felt very